Today on FCT Environment Update, we take a look at the new fumigation directives in the FCT. Governor Peter Obi of Anambra State has warned traders in Onitsha to desist from dumping refuse into the drains on Onitsha-Enugu Road. Obi gave the directive when he stopped over at Atani Junction on the Onitsha-Enugu Road. He expressed dissatisfaction about the attitude of traders who were currently trading on a lane of the road currently under reconstruction. The governor threatened to destroy the goods of the traders and prosecute anybody caught for environmental offenses if they don't put themselves in check and make sure all refuse in the drainage system on the Onitsha-Enugu Road were cleared. The Kogi State Commissioner for Environment, Abdulrahman Buya, has warned residents of the state against dumping of refuse on drainages and water channel to ensure free flow of water. The commissioner said as a result of the warning, the state would carry out aggressive sensitization campaign to sensitize the people, especially the local governments that are prone to flooding, of the danger in blocking the drainages and water channels. He said the state government was already working on the total greening of the state by encouraging residents to plant trees to serve as windbreakers during rainfall.
Abuja is a beautiful city and the preferred tourist destination in Africa. Let us keep our environment clean by trimming flowers and cutting grass around us regularly. Dispose of our refuse in waste bins and stop all forms of environmental pollution because they are injurious to our health. Report bleeding manhole to the appropriate authorities and disease from illegal connection to sewage lines. Hawking, trading, and begging on the streets of Abuja are prohibited. So also is prostitution. Do not harass AEPB staff members in the line of duty. If you are caught, you will face the law. If we cultivate a culture of a clean environment and pay our environmental service charge promptly, Abuja will remain the pride of all Nigerians.
This message is proudly sponsored by the FCT United Nations Development Assistance Framework UNDAF 2. The Federal Capital Territory Administration has formed the habit of regularly fumigating the entire 8,000 square kilometers of the territory to control mosquitoes and other vectors harmful to humans using approved and environmentally friendly pesticides. This has proved to be a wise move because a huge reduction has been recorded in the incidence of malaria attack, Lassa fever, and other vector-borne diseases of public health importance. However, as more than one FCT establishments were involved in the activity of pest control in the territory, many unqualified and unregistered companies and persons were making brisk business using already banned pesticides. This compelled the FCT administration to streamline the very important task of fumigating the territory.
Fumigation is a particular area that we have had a lot of proliferations and bastardizations, as I can say. Even those that have clues and those that don't have any clue about what fumigation is and what type of chemicals that are to be used are involved over the years, fumigating places, endangering lives, and even animals and environment. So we believe that it is a very serious problem in a territory, in a city of this nature, for us to have all comers, everyone carrying chemicals. If you go around the street, you see them at street corners. They have their knapsacks. They say they will even write their phone numbers. If you want fumigation, please contact this number. These are people that are not even professionals, yet they are using chemicals carelessly to either destroy human beings, environment, and other things. So we believe that this has caused a lot of concern, even for the FCT administration.
Before the new circular that vested the responsibility of pest control in the FCT on the Abuja Environmental Protection Board, we have the Health and Human Services Secretariat, where the Public Health Department is domiciled. So side by side, the AEPB were doing pest control, or commonly called fumigation. The Department of Public Health of the Health and Human Services Secretariat is also doing, fumigation. So I think the present administration of Senator Bala Mohammed deem it fit to streamline these services, because it is a professional service. It is a service that can do good and harm, at the same time. So presently, that whole responsibility is rested with the Abuja Environmental Protection Board to provide pest control services, or license private practitioners, professionals to practice pest control services within the FCT, and also the Health and Human Services Secretariat are to provide oversight to make sure that the appropriate pesticides are being used by the field staff.
The new directive is tagged the harmonization of functions in the FCTA due to the duplication of fumigation responsibilities. In that document, the fumigation of homes, residential areas, drainage lines and offices is now the responsibility of the AEPB, while the Health and Human Services Secretariat is to ensure that the appropriate pesticides and fumigants are used for the safety of residents. The fumigation of farms and agricultural fields is the responsibility of the Agric and Rural Development Secretariat, while AEPB will play an oversight function there in line with its statutory responsibility of protecting the Abuja environment.
If you go to some of these hotels, you go to some of these plazas, you go to some of the houses, you see people buying chemicals and fumigating their houses themselves, which is very dangerous. And we will not allow that to persist, because the responsibility of a government is to make sure that even if the citizen want to die, the government will say, no, you won't die in this form. And that is why we must regulate it. And that is what we are doing now, so that we will stop all these proliferations and conflicts that we are having in our environment. So fumigation is solely the responsibility of AEPB to take care of hotels, plazas, houses, and what have you. We even have the responsibility to oversee, that is an oversight function for agricultural use. We have to oversight the functions, the fumigation of farms, because it affects our environment also. If we don't control it, everyone can get into the market. If you go around the city now, you go around so many places, you see people selling chemicals. And they will tell you that you can use it for this or that. They don't even know the composition, the chemical composition of these chemicals. And they are now using it, selling to ignorant people. And these people are using it to poison our environment and poison anything that is in the environment.
We've carry out fumigations in plazas and such public places, not just because animals don't go to plazas, but it is good to carry out to carry out fumigation in such places. But from time to time, people with different kind of diseases visit those places, and you discover those places also are habitats for rats. And if there's no plaza you go that you will not see, where sometime there you see rats. Okay, that's the essence of such places, not necessarily because of stray animals like goats and chicken and all that, but we just don't stop there. We also go to places like markets. Like last time we went to Duse Alaji, a man was selling chicken. Okay, he just like a small poultry he had there, and then people all over were around him, and if the man has stayed there for years, you get what I mean, and that is not good for the people. We were able to tell them to man to leave. people around him wouldn't know what they were contracting anyway. They would just think they have come to trade and their market and that's all. But by the end of the day, they might have one health condition or the other, which they will not reflect back was as a result of the trade they were carrying out in the market. They contracted it there and they wouldn't know. They would just go home and suffer their sickness without knowing.
This Abuja fine no be small. Now you make plenty tourists them they like to visit this our city. Because of that, we must to make sure say everywhere they clean every time. Make we they cut grass and flower them we don't grow for our house. Throw away dirty and yama inside dustbin. No spoil air with black smoke. That one fit cause sickness for body. If you see soccer we don't full, make you call Abuja Environmental Protection Board quick. No follow them fight oh. Now they work then they do. Now on face to sell market for road, they beg or even do opio for night. If they catch you, you go hear amo. Make we join hand together with Abuja Environmental Protection Board to see say Abuja dey clean well. Make we pay our service charge every month to make sure say Abuja dey cha-cha.
Now the FCT United Nations Development Assistance Framework, UNDAF 2, they bring on this message.
Residents of the FCT, I would like to appeal to you to appreciate the fact that it is our responsibility to make life convenient for you. Please, you should try to support the FCT in doing this. You are the people that will tell people that what they are doing is convenient to us. You should fight the war for us. Let people not come here and destroy the city residents. So, whatever we're doing is for your interest. We expect you to support the FCT. We are here as co-residents. So expect us to, whatever we see is going to make life inconvenience for you, we'll go after it. So support us. Thank you very much.
There are quite a number of pests and vectors in the environment that are harmful to humans, even as there are some that are required to be kept around us to maintain a balance in the ecosystem. This delicate balance can only be achieved if the right combinations of chemicals are used in pest control services.
In the disease causation, we have vectors, and some of these vectors are controllable using chemicals. Those chemicals have been tested and found to be able to control pests of public health significance or importance. And so some of these vectors that are responsible for these diseases, when they are controlled, we have less disease burden for the population. Like even simple cockroaches have been linked to cause typhoid fever. These things go to the toilet and fly in the night, carrying all kinds of agents that cause disease. When people sleep at night, these are nocturnal insects. They are very active at night. You have to see them, but they're hidden, and these are the ones that do the havoc, spreading diseases upon food items that are uncovered. So it's important that we let the public know that all pests of public importance need to be controlled in order to reduce preventable diseases.
Mosquitoes, like we know, is one of the commonest causes of deaths, especially among children in our society. And they are all over the places. They are in your homes, they are in your cars, they are everywhere you go in our society. So that is the area fumigation has been helping us a lot. The authorities of APB go out from time to time to fumigate areas they think, of course, they fumigate as much areas as possible. There's no area that is mosquito free, like you all know. They are all over the place, and we fumigate as much as the funds can carry us, because it's a very wide, FCT is quite large, and with people coming in on daily basis as a sort of instability or the other from other parts of the country, you see FCT is increasing in population on daily basis without probably, even if the authorities project 1 million. By the time you know it, before you know it has gone up to 2 million. So you see that the projection does not really work out in this case. So they go to bushes, they cut new areas, they settle there. They won't even let the authorities know. It's only with time you discover. And before you know it, those people living there, they are infested with mosquitoes and they start reporting to hospitals and all that. All the work we are doing here is basically to make sure that people live well. If people live in clean environment, the hospitals will have less jobs to do, isn't it? So that's the greatest problem we have. And not quite long ago, even of recent again, there was an incident of Lassa fever, somewhere in Benue or thereabouts, most recently. Lassa fever is a very dangerous viral infection, and we all know that it's caused by rats. Okay? That's why during that period, when it happened close, quite some months ago, the authorities of APB spent quite some time and money to make sure that they carried out random fumigation as in many places as much as possible. So we carry out these fumigations to be able to prevent, so we can prevent this public health nuisance that are always there with us. But like I said, everything to a large extent depends on finance. At times, you see some people using helicopters to fumigate in some of these advanced countries. We have not reached there yet, but we hope that one day God will grant us the grace to be able to purchase such helicopters and carry out fumigations in a very large scale, and people will live better.
The Abuja Environmental Protection Board advises residents to desist from patronizing non-professionals when there is need to fumigate their offices, homes and surroundings. There are banned chemicals that these quacks use, and such substances are harmful to humans and do more harm than good to the environment.
Some of these chemicals have been found to be environmentally friendly. Those of them that do not stay in the environment for a very long time, they are not persistent in the environment. The ones that were banned, these organochlorine-based chemicals, they are doing much havoc in the environment. So we have shifted to organophosphate. So those ones are be found by scientists to be environmentally friendly. It's important that all those who are involved in pest management get to know this banned chemicals. We have the lists with us here in the office, and we intimate all those who are involved in the industry never use banned chemicals. One of them happened to be this lidine-based chemical that is very common in the marketplace, like those in cocoa farming. You would have heard about the most important chemical that they use in that industry. It has been banned because of lidine in it, and that chemical is still available today, but once lidine is not lidine free, there are people who use DDT as if it is not harmful. That chemical had lidine had a harmful effect both on the environment and on humans, and that is why every DDT that has lidine has been banned. But we have a DDT that is free of lidine that is still in use today. We want to say that all chemicals that are organochlorine based, that we regard as persistent environment, all of them, there are many, they have been banned. Those ones that are organophosphoric based, those are the ones now recommended. They do less damage to the environment and they don't persist for a very long time in the environment. So we recommend such ones for use. For those in the profession, we have a list of that. They have market names, but we have their generic names. That is the ingredients that in chemical. That one is more important to us than the market name. If you go around the market, you hear shooter, you have quick best action, all those. But what we're interested in is the chemical component of that chemical. If it contains chlorine, you say no. If it has phosphorus or phosphate, those are the ones that I recommend for use. And the reason why we control this pest is to reduce pests that cause disease. Like you know, Lassa fever is related to this mouse, the mermaid rats. So we control those ones to remove Lassa fever from human environment.
It is not every chemical that kills cockroaches, mosquitoes in your house that you need to allow to come into your house. We know there are quite some quacks that carry this knapsack on their back. In fact, they've knocked on my door one day. Oga, you need fumigation. I said, where are you coming from? Who are you? Where are you coming from? They say they are companies, so they do this. So you don't have to, do that, because some of these chemicals, they've been, they've been outdated. In other words, they've been banned, from being used because they are carcinogenic. They are not biodegradable. Being carcinogenic means that they have the, potential of causing cancer, at the long run. So, and you will not know, so that's the more reason why government is streamlining these services, so that the health of the residents, is being preserved. The ecosystem is being preserved. There are some pesticides that not only kill the unwanted pests, will also kill the the flora and fauna, the plants, the animal species that are going extinct now. We need to keep them. The biodiversity just have to be preserved. So it is so important that you do not just call any man to come into your house and spray something and say, oh, all the mosquitoes are dead, all the cockroaches are dead. How compatible to human health is a pesticide, being used? So we call on the residents to come to the Abuja Environmental Protection Board, precisely the Environmental Health and Safety Department, to inquire and to assess the pest control services, being offered by government. We have quite some number of private practitioners that are being licensed. We work hand in hand with the Environmental Health Registration Council that also make sure that such companies have a licensed environmental health officer, as a member of staff of such company, to ensure that the right chemicals, the right doses, and the right approach are being, employed in the process of pest control services.
Next week, we'll see how the AEPB and the Social Development Secretariat are working together to prevent public nuisance, and we'll visit the Rehabilitation and Vocational Training Center for people with disabilities.